And then welcome once again to another video, our weekly predictions of the games for game week 2 of the English Premier League. I hope you all had a wonderful week last week and you made some profit. As I said, I'm here to share my opinions as it regards the matches for each game week. And so we're now at game week 2. Let me give you my predictions and let us hope for the best. Alright. First up, we're going to start with Aston Villa and Everton. Aston Villa will be at home. So therefore, this is the home advantage. Aston Villa did well in pre-season. Everton are going through a lot in terms of injuries. They don't have, well, Frank Lampard don't have a squad that he would be satisfied with at the moment. And so therefore, they're going to do well defensively. I think they're going to be a bit hard to break down, and so they're not going to be beaten easily. But I think they're going to struggle to win games because I'm sitting here wondering where the goals are going to come from. In terms of the score for this match, I would predict that Aston Villa will win by 2-1. Alright? My predicted score for this game is that Aston Villa will win by 2-1. And we're getting $8.50 for that. Alright? Next prediction, if you don't want to bet the score, you can always go to the handicap and you bet that Aston Villa is going to win by a goal. And then Aston Villa to win by a goal. Yes. And if the game should end 2-1, then that would mean that we should bet here. So this is what we're going to bet. Aston Villa to win by a goal, draw. Alright. In terms of the goal scorers, well, Leon Bailey is in good form. Leon Bailey is in good form, and that's whenever we're betting goal scorers, I suggest that you do anytime goal scorer. So Leon Bailey is in good form. Danny Ings is starting. Ollie Watkins can always score a goal. Coutinho is always there and thereabouts. He's good. Jacob Ramsey started last weekend. He is also good. He's one to watch out for. He can score a goal as well. So those guys are the guys that you should look out for on the Aston Villa side. In terms of Everton, you'd have to look at Demarai Gray. Salomon Rondon should be coming back this weekend. He could score because he's playing the forward position. Dele Alli also is somebody who will come off the bench and do some damage. Dwight McNeil is a good player as well. He can pop up and score a goal as well. Abdoulaye Doucouré has scored some goals in the past. So he has a goal or two in him. Yeah, so you never know. So in terms of what the person that I would pick this week to score a goal for me, I would go with Danny Ings. I'd go with Danny Ings. So I'll go with Danny Ings for my anytime goal scorer for this game this week. Alright, so that's my prediction for the Aston Villa Everton game. I have Aston Villa winning by 2-1. Worst case scenario, it might end in a draw, and that would be a 1-1 draw. Yes, so that's my prediction for that game. Moving on to the next game now, which is Arsenal versus Leicester City. My predicted score for Arsenal versus Leicester City is for Arsenal to win by 2 goals. 2 goals. I think Arsenal will win by 2 goals. Leicester is a little bit unsettled. I think they haven't brought in anyone, and a number of their players are linked. They transferred out, and so that can be a little bit unsettling for the squad. So therefore, hence the reason why I have Arsenal at home winning by 2 goals. Alright, if you don't want to place the correct score, you can always go on the handicap system and place the bet for Arsenal to win by 2 goals. Alright, this is Arsenal winning by 2 goals. I see your Arsenal winning by a goal. Arsenal winning by a goal, that's nice. You're getting $2.20. I'd say take $2.20. And whenever you're placing a bet, any odd over $2 is a good odd. So you're going to take that, yeah? We're going to take $2.20 for Arsenal to win by a goal, even though I have the scoreline here. Arsenal winning by 2 goals. Alright, then now we're going to move on to our possible goal scorers. And as I said, whenever we're selecting goal scorers, we're going to select guys to score anytime in this match. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus would be at top of the list. Gabriel Jesus, Eddie Nketiah, those guys, yes. Bakayo Saka rather. He's also on the list. Martinelli and as well as between Oligard. Those guys are the guys that I have to be anytime goal scorer in this game for Arsenal. As it relates to Leicester City, Vardy's always there, and Vardy always has a goal in him. Yes, it doesn't matter the game; he always has a goal in him. So Vardy's on in terms of anytime score for Leicester. Vardy's one. The other person would be. Other person would be Shrewsbury Hall. He had a good preseason, and based on his interviews, he said that he should be doing way better this year. So I would have him as an odd scorer. The other person, uh, Iheanacho is not getting much minutes just now. The other person I'd select is Madison. But for my overall selection for anytime goal scorer for this match, I'm going to go with Bakayo Saka. Alright? So I'll go with Bakayo Saka for my anytime goal scorer, getting $2.62 for that. And so therefore those are my predictions for the Arsenal Leicester game. Arsenal playing at home. I expect them to win by 2-0. Worst case scenario, this one ends maybe 1-0 in Arsenal's favor. But those are my predictions. Anytime goal scorer, Saka. And as I say, if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go on the handicap system and select for Arsenal to win by a goal. Alright. Our next game would be Brighton versus Newcastle. And Brighton will be at home, and we know that Brighton is a difficult team to score against. And especially they will be playing at home. They won the opening game against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Mind you, Manchester United has been awful. And they'll continue to be awful for some time, unfortunately. But as it relates to this game, Brighton and Newcastle, I think this one is going to end in a draw. Two good teams defensively, and I think it will repeat out in a 1-1 draw. If not a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw. So that's my score prediction for this game, a 1-1 draw between Brighton and Newcastle. If you don't want to bet the 1-1 score line, you can go to the handicap. And then we go to the handicap now. We're going to have here, let's say, away team to win by a goal. Away team to win by a goal. Away team to win by a goal. No, I'm going to select a draw. Alright, so that's what we select. In terms of possible goal scorers for this game, anytime goal scorers, yes, as it relates to Brighton rather. We'll have Danny Ings there as a possible goal scorer. Not Danny Ings, sorry, Danny Welbeck as a possible goal scorer. If Mopey plays, he could score a goal as well, even though he tends to waste some amount, but he's usually a good finisher. So we have Danny Welbeck, we have Mopey, and Trossard is also there and thereabout always. Pascal Gross has a good start to the season. Can put him off the list as well. As it relates to Newcastle, we have Callum Wilson and we have Bruno Guimaraes. And also apart from Bruno Guimaraes, I'm going to go with Joe Willock and Miguel Almiron. Those are the guys that I have as possible goal scorers for this game, but my choice is going to be Danny Welbeck to be anytime goal scorer in this game. Alright, I'm going to go with the home team, as I'm going to select my anytime goal scorer from the home team. So therefore my anytime goal scorer for the game would be Danny Welbeck. The scoreline should be 1-1, or otherwise I think it's a 0-0 draw. Newcastle have a very cohesive unit, but I don't think they are going to beat Graham Potter's side this weekend. I think he's going to end in a draw. Yeah. And so our next match would be Manchester City versus Bournemouth. In this game, Manchester City will be playing at home. Bournemouth did well defensively last year in the championship, and I expect them to continue doing well defensively, but however, I don't think they're going to stop City from beating them this weekend. They might limit City in the terms of the amount of goals they score, and this early season all the guys are not yet in top form, No, so where they'll be scoring a whole ton loads of goal, but I think that City should win this one and win this one. Don't want to use the term comfortably, but they should win this one, and so therefore I have City winning this one here 3-0. City to win this match 3-0. That's my predicted scoreline for this game. City win by 3-0. If you don't want to bet the exact score, you go on the handicap system and you can bet for City to win by 3 goals. For City to win by 3 goals, we're getting $2.62. But you can also bet for City to win by 2 goals if you don't have the confidence to bet for them. But City to win by 3 goals, $2.60 in terms of possible goal scores. They are the usual candidates, yes. Erling Haaland, who scored 2 goals last week, is going to be a possible anytime goal scorer. He's at the top of this. He's at the top of everyone's list. And also, I'd have Kevin De Bruyne as well. Phil Foden. Yeah, I can pop up and score at any moment. Consuelo. Can never count him out. He's now playing way more forward based on what I saw over the weekend. He's playing way forward. So we have Consuelo, De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, and Phil Foden as possible goal scorers for City. Gundogan always has a goal in him and he's starting, so you can't count him out as well. As it relates to Bournemouth, possible goal scorers for them there forward, Dominic Solanke, and even more did well over the weekend. So those are the two guys that I look at to be possible scorers, because I think they'll sit back and hope to break on the counter. So if they're hoping to break on the counter, that means that Solanke might be sitting up front by himself. Alright, and so therefore, if they're going to score a goal, more than likely it would be through Solanke. So it'd be a possible goal scorer for Bournemouth, but I don't expect them to score. So I'm going to select my anytime goal scorer from City's list, and I'm going to go with Kevin De Bruyne. That's my anytime goal scorer. So that's my prediction for the City versus Bournemouth game, and I expect City to win by 3 goals. And as I say, if you don't want to pick the exact score, you can go on the handicap system and place it there as well. And my anytime goal scorer would be Kevin De Bruyne. As it relates to the next game, which is Southampton versus Leeds, I have Southampton winning this. Well, not Southampton. Southampton will be playing at home, and I have this game also ending in a draw. But if we're going to get a surprise, I think Leeds could pull off a win here. But I have this game ending in a 2-all draw for Southampton versus Leeds. So this game should end 2-all. I believe it will end 2-all. Yes. And if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go in the handicap system, as I've been saying over and over and over again. And go on the handicap system and you can bet for both teams. You can place the bet there. Alright. So I have a 2-all draw, so I'm going to select this one here. Alright. This is saying that Southampton win by a goal. So therefore, if these guys scores 2 goals, and it'll be 3-2 up, so they'll be leading. So no, that's not the one to select. So if Southampton to win by 2 goals, if these guys come, these guys will win. Alright. So that's what we're going to select here. Let's win by 2 goals. Come on, let's score 2. 2-0. Win by a goal. This one at least should win by a goal, and so therefore, if these do score a goal and end up winning 1-0, it would end in a draw, because Southampton would have started the game goal ahead. as it relates to possible goal scorers, uh, for Southampton, as I say, Shea Adams, I'm going to go with Shea Adams. Ward Prowse as well. Always has a goal in him. Adam Armstrong always has a goal in him as well. So those guys are the three guys that I have here marked for Southampton. As it relates to Leeds, I like Rodrigo Marina and I like Bamford as well. And also, Aronson popped up last week and scored a goal. He could do it again this week. So, but for my anytime goal scorer, I'm going to go with Rodrigo Marina. And so therefore, my anytime goal scorer for this game is Rodrigo Marina. So predicted scoreline is 2-2 between Southampton and Leeds. Southampton playing at home. So therefore, I have a draw there. And my anytime goal scorer would be Rodrigo Marina from Leeds. And moving on to the next game. Our next game would be Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Fulham United. Fulham had a great start to the season. They did very well against Liverpool. They held their own, and it wasn't easy for Liverpool to overpower them. And I like what the new coach is doing. Well, he's not a new coach. He's just been there from last season, I think, or the last 2 seasons. And I like the system that he employed. And so the Fulham look like they're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time around in the Premiership, and so therefore I expect them to get some better results. And so therefore, as a result, my scoreline that I have here for this game, I have this game also ending in a possible draw, but if you're going to go out on a limb, I'd say that Fulham can squeeze them by a 1-0. But my prediction here is a 1-1 draw between these two sides. Wolverhampton is not easy to beat at home, as we have come to see over the years, and so therefore not the easy side to beat at home. As it relates to the correct score, if you don't want to place a correct score, you can always go here on the handicap system and select a draw. Alright, so this one, as it relates to my possible goal scorer, sorry about that. I distracted a little bit there, sorry. As it relates to our possible goal scorers, Pedro Neto is one. And also Podence, he's always around the box, so he's one as well. Ruben Neves is also another possible goal scorer. And as it goes for Fulham, then it's between Mitrovic and based on how Pereira has come on my radar as a possible goal scorer. He's busy around the 18-yard box here, and he could find himself in a position to score a goal in this match. But I am going to select my possible goal scorer from this game to be Alexander Mitrovic. Alright, so my predicted scoreline is a 1-1 draw between Wolverhampton and Fulham. And my anytime goal scorer would be Alexander Mitrovic. As it relates to our next game, moving right along. So our next game, which is Brentford versus Manchester United. And as I said earlier, Manchester United, they are doing very poorly. The coach gave a lame excuse this weekend about Cristiano not being fit. And we all know that Cristiano is one of the fittest players at Manchester United. Alright then, so moving on to the prediction in terms of the scoreline for Manchester United versus Brentford. Brentford being at home. Brentford, they proved a little bit challenging to beat at home last season. Not just a little bit. They lost some games there. But I think that this game, I think Ten Hag has learned a few things. And if he starts Cristiano, and if Rashford can pick himself up, then they might be able to beat Brentford. And they might be able to beat Brentford. So therefore, I'm going to carry them here to beat Brentford. I'm going to carry Manchester United to beat Brentford here 2-1. So So I have Manchester United beating Brentford here 2-1. Some of you might be surprised, but I have Manchester United beat Brentford 2-1. Manchester United also they tend to have a little bit they tend to have issues with the smaller teams. They tend to lose against them. As you know, we have had issues against Brighton and Leicester over the years. We tend to lose games against them. We don't play very well against them. So, but I am selecting Manchester United to win this game this weekend. Alright, so in terms of if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can go on the handicap system and you can bet for Manchester United to win by a goal. Since my result is 2-1, then I am going to select this as a draw. Because if the game ends 2-1, then that means that based on the handicap, both teams definitely than 2 goals. Alright, so possible goal scorers. If Cristiano start, most definitely he's on the top of the list to score. And Marcus Rashford as well. That's on the Manchester United side. And also Christian Eriksen can score a goal, and Jadon Sancho can score a goal as well as Bruno Fernandes. So those guys are the guys that could be possible goal scorers. But I think most of the opportunity might fall to a Marcus Rashford based on where he will be playing. Alright, as it relates to Brentford, their possible goal scorer, I have Ivan Toney. He was he was a super sub last season. He started last weekend. Don't know if he will be starting this weekend. More than likely he will be starting. But Ivan Toney and Brian Mbumo, those guys are the guys that we should look out for as possible goal scorers for Brentford. And so therefore my anytime goal scorer here is going to be a Marcus Rashford. I'm going to go with an limb and pick Marcus to score this weekend. He will get opportunity, and I think he'll get at least 3 or 4 opportunities to score if he starts. And so therefore that should be great opportunity. But if he doesn't start, then I'm going to go with the Ivan Toney for anytime goal scorer. Cristiano I expect to score as well, but based on the odds, I would go for either Ivan Toney or Marcus Rashford be my anytime goal scorers in this game. So I have this game here, Manchester United to win by 2-1 and get their campaign off and running. So as it relates to our next game will be Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. Nottingham Forest will be at home, and this game is on Sunday. So that was the end of Saturday's game just now. Manchester United and Brentford, the final game on Saturday. Going to Sunday now, Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. Nottingham Forest being at home. New boys in this season's league. They lost the opening game 2-0 to Newcastle playing away. And I guess their coach would have learned a thing or two, and so therefore his approach should be a little bit different this week. They have some good enough players there, and I think they'll challenge. I'm not expecting them to finish in the top 10, but I think they'll finish in the top 15. And so therefore, my prediction for the scoreline for West Ham versus Nottingham Forest, sorry about that. I have West Ham beating Nottingham Forest here by 2-1. David Moyes, he has been doing this for some time now, and he knows how to get a result. And they recently signed Maxwell Cornet. I don't expect Maxwell to be playing this weekend, but Maxwell is a good addition. That guy from Sassuolo that they signed, Samata, he should do well as well. And Antonio, as you know, he's a hard worker, always has a goal or two in him, or not only goals but also assists. And so therefore, hence the reason why I believe that West Ham will win this game against Nottingham Forest. So I have West Ham to win by 2-1. As I say, if you don't want the correct score, you can go to the handicap system. And then we're going to select for West Ham to win by a goal. it's 2-1, then we're going to have to select a draw here. Alright. And possible goal scorers, as I was mentioning just now. Possible goal scorers. We could have this little young man is a man to watch. Brennan Johnson. You have to watch out for him, as he could score a goal. Lingard, we all know, has a goal in him. Not only a goal, he has a lot of goals in him. Yeah, so he could score as well. As it relates to West Ham, I have Antonio, I have Gerard Bowen, and other person, Suchek. He has a knack of scoring goals. So he's like an outsider. You have to watch out for him. So, but my anytime goal scorer for this week, for this game, is going to be Gerard Bowen. I'm going to have Gerard Bowen score at any point in this game. Alright, so my prediction for this game is West Ham to beat Nottingham Forest. And moving on to our next game, the penultimate game of this game week. Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspurs. And Chelsea will be playing at home. They're off somewhat of a shaky start, I would say. I would say, others would say no, they are not. But I am not convinced with how they're playing just now. But I think once all the pieces settle in and they start gelling together, I think they should do way better. The defense is doing well enough, but the final third, the string, the dots are not connecting just yet, and so therefore it might be a little bit tricky. And so as a result, I'm going to have this game. I'm going to have this game going the way of Tottenham Hotspurs. I think Spurs are going to win this game. I think Spurs are going to win this game by 2 goals. Worst case scenario, it ends in a draw, but I'm going to select Spurs to win by 2 goals. So if you don't want to bet the correct score, we go down to the handicap, and then we're going to have Spurs winning by a goal. Let's see, Spurs winning by a goal. And in terms of possible goal scorers, we have the usual suspects. As it relates for Chelsea, you're going to go with Raheem Sterling. Kai Havertz is playing up front, so he always can score a goal. Mason Mount as well. He has a goal in him, and if there are any penalties, then Jorginho is guaranteed to more than likely score a goal. But as it relates to Spurs, anytime goal scorers, Harry Kane, Son, and Kulusevski are all guys who could possibly score. Also, if Burgess starts, it depends on where depends on the role he's playing. He could end up maybe assisting or scoring a goal as well. But for my anytime goal scorer, I think Harry Kane is going to get on the scoring sheet this weekend, because I think once he gets up to speed, I think Harry Kane is going to be the leading scorer for this week. Yeah, for this season. Sorry. Some persons might be wondering about that. Yes, you have Erling Haaland and you have Mohamed Salah. I think those two guys, they will score a lot of goals as well. But based on what Conte is doing, I think once Spurs gets going, then I expect Harry Kane to outscore those two guys. Not by a tons of goals, but I expect him to outscore them. And so therefore, I'm going to say like Harry Kane as my anytime goal scorer. I can also take into consideration Sterling as well. As I said, Sterling has a lot of goal in him. But that's my prediction for this game. Tottenham Hotspurs to win by 2 goals, and my anytime goal scorer be Harry Kane. And moving on to our final game for this game week, it is Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Liverpool often not such a wonderful start over the weekend, but that's how the game is, and so they just have to pick up the pieces and move on. If they want to win this title, they just have to try and win as much games as they can possibly win. Alright, so therefore I have them here again, winning by 2 goals. I had them winning by 2 goals last week, and the game ended 12. unfortunately. But this week I'm going to have them winning by 2 goals again. If they're having a really good day, then they could end up winning by 4 goals. But I have Liverpool to win by 2 goals, and we're going to go in the handicap system. Liverpool to win by 2. Liverpool to win by 2 here. Anytime goal scorers, the usual suspects. Mohamed Salah, Liverpool, Darwin Núñez. If he gets enough time, he should be able to score. Luis Diaz as well. He should score as well. And also Roberto Firmino. Hasn't scored much of late, but you can consider him as well. As it relates to Crystal Palace, anytime goal scorer, possible anytime goal scorer. We're going to go with Mateta and Ize, and also Zaha. So those are the guys I would select for Crystal Palace. But my decision as for anytime goal scorer is going to be Luis Diaz. This is a nice odd, and I'm going to take this odd. And based on how we played last weekend, I think he should end up scoring this weekend. Alright, so that's my prediction for the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game. Liverpool to win by 2 goals to 0. If it's a really awful day for Crystal Palace, then Liverpool to win by 4 goals. So that means it's over 3.5 goals for the game. Yeah, and my anytime goal scorer to be Luis Diaz. Once again, I must thank you for joining me, and thank you for taking the time out to watching my videos, and I wanted the content to support me. So subscribe and like the video, and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Have a great day.